Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So I have a bit of a book haul. There's some Christmas gifts in here. There's just some general books I've acquired, book of the month books in here. It's kind of a smorgasbord and a decent pile. So we're gonna just get started. One of the first couple of books I picked up, I took my daughter on a little trip to Barnes & Noble yesterday, I think. She got a few books that she was hoping she would get for Christmas that she didn't. So I ended up finding these two that I picked up off of the 50% off table. So I'll take that. First one is Florence Adler Swims Forever by Rachel Beanland. I'm pretty sure my friend Amber has read this. A couple people have read this. I've seen it in a few places and I'm intrigued. I think it was a Barnes & Noble book club pick as well. So this is Atlantic City, 1934. We have Florence in she is determined to swim across the English Channel. So she starts training for that. She moves back in with her parents. I think she went to college and she comes back and she's living with her parents and her sister Fanny, who is pregnant after recently losing a baby. And so she's on bed rest at the Atlantic City Hospital. And then it looks like Fanny has a little girl that Esther is helping take care of. And Esther is Florence's mom. So it's a whole hodgepodge of people that Florence is living with. Well, anyways, tragedy strikes on Florence's training swim and she ends up passing away. And her mom decides to keep the truth from her sister who's on bed rest because she's afraid that the stress of it will cause her to lose the baby. And so they go through this whole thing of like this mirage of keeping Florence Adler still alive and swimming. So it sounds interesting and intriguing, and it just happened to come home with me. Same with this one, Alice Feeney, His and Hers. I know nothing about it other than it's creepy. A twisty dual narrative that gives Gone Girl a run for its money and leaves you wondering if you can trust anyone. That's what got it for me. Plus I've heard other great things about it. For fans of twisty dark thrillers, this is the one. I picked it up. I have no clue what it's about and I don't care. All right, gifts for Christmas. Let's go with that. So this year I did the Once Upon a Book Club Advent book box. So what I got was a collection of short stories. This called the 12 Days of Book Club Miss. And every day you would read a short story and every day it would prompt you to open up whatever your gift was. And in this book club box, this Advent book club box, I got 4 books. 4 books. So first one I got Diane Chamberlain's The Dream Daughter, which I did read this year, one of my favorite books of the year, came into this box. And so I'm actually super excited because I had an arc of it and now I have a finished copy. Bonus. So I think maybe we'll do a giveaway at some point in time and spread the wealth out there, right? So that was one of them. Another one that came in the box is Little Big Love by Katie Regan, and then this goes with what the story was that's on the top. So this one follows Liam Jones. Liam Jones was the love of Juliet's life. He was her brother's best friend, and then her best friend, then the father of her little boy. In those shiny weeks after their son was born, she had never been happier, neither had Liam, and then one night Liam disappears without a trace. And 10-year-old Zach Hutchinson collects facts. I wonder if he's the son. Yeah, no one will tell him what happened to his father or where he went. When Juliet inadvertently admits that his father is the only man she's ever loved, Zach decides to go out and find him and deliver the mom the happily ever after she deserves. So that sounds really sweet. I love this little picture too. So that one came in the book box. The Girl You Left Behind by Jojo Moyes came in the book box. This is France, 1916. Sophia must keep her family safe while her adored husband fights on the front during World War I. When their town falls to the Germans in the midst of the war, she's forced to serve them every evening in her hotel. From the moment the new commandant sets eyes on Sophie's portrait, painted by her artist husband, a dangerous obsession is born, one that will leave Sophie to make a dark and terrible decision. Totally sounds up my alley, so I'm super excited about that one. And then the other book that came in the box is Song of a Captive Bird by Jasmine Darznik. So this one follows our main character who grew up in Tehran. She is taught that Iranian daughters should be quiet and modest, do as they're told. She doesn't follow this. She likes to be in the gossip. She likes to make trouble, and she really likes to write poetry. So she's really not allowed to be herself. She ends up being married, forced into a suffocating marriage. She runs away from that and kind of decides to take on her own life and become her own person and write this poetry that is like considered very scandalous. So I think it's based on a true, inspired by letters, films, and interviews, and including the original translations of some poems. So this is based on a true person. So it sounds interesting as well. So I don't know if I want to admit that I just found another stack of books that I haven't hauled yet. It's fine. We're just gonna keep going. Okay, so my husband picked out a book for me. It is Memoirs of a Kamikaze. It's a World War II pilot's inspiring story of survival, honor, and reconciliation. This one, like literally he was in his plane on the tarmac, engines going, ready to take off and complete his mission as a kamikaze pilot when the war was basically declared, when it was over. And so this is kind of his story. He was 16, I think, at the time, of how he got to that position. He was put into quite a few different missions that he should not have survived in, and he ended up surviving, and kind of his story. So I'm really excited about this book. I'm just excited that Matt found it and got it for me, and that makes me more happy. So got that one. A couple books that I got for Christmas that I kind of picked up myself. I have American Royals by Catherine McGee. This basically takes on the story that as if after the American Revolution, George Washington became the king, and it follows kind of his lineage and his story and what happens as if we had American Royals. So I'm excited about that one. I've heard great things about that. And then I want to say Amanda, did you do this from the curly haired reader? I'm pretty sure. Told me about Class Mom by Lori Gelman. Like, perfect, funny book. So it's okay. Jen Dixon's not your typical class mom. She has 2 college-age kids, and then she has a 5-year-old son named Max, which is what I'm loving because I have a Max. So she's just like, she's going into this whole school thing for the second time around. She's not, and she sees kind of what's happening, the dynamic of the class moms, and she's not having any of it. It's cheeky. It's supposed to be really funny. I picked it up because Amanda said it's great. So I'm excited about that one. And I originally, I shouldn't say originally. Then there's the second book, which is You've Been Volunteered, which is, I don't know if it comes next. I think it was published afterwards. I don't know if it's a continuation of the story or what it is, but I picked that one up as well. No particular order here. It's just a pile. I did get the Ichabod by J.K. Rowling. I have not heard much about this, but apparently she wrote this while she was writing Harry Potter, and it takes place in this tiny little city called Cornucopia, and they are like infamous for their food, except for there's this Ichabod that lives there. That's this monster that kind of, I don't know, takes all the happiness away. And so it's the Ichabod is told as a myth until these children kind of start looking into it, and it becomes this shadow over the whole kingdom, and things happen. So I'm really excited for this, and I haven't heard much about it, and she had all these kids do the illustrations. I don't know, it just looks really fantastic. So I'm excited for that one. I have The Last Widow by Karen Slaughter. My aunt brought this over. I had not heard of it, but it's fairly newer release, 2019. And I think it's a standalone. I don't think it's part of her series. I could be wrong. I don't know. I pulled it out of the pile and I kept it because Karen Slaughter is, I need to read more Karen Slaughter, that's for sure. I also have The Twin by Natasha Preston. I haven't read any Natasha Preston books yet. Oh, it's a signed edition too. Even better. Oh, look, there it is. Cool. They're also psychological thriller-ish. This follows twins that haven't lived together for years. When their mother and father divorced, each parent got custody of one of the twins, but after a tragic accident takes their mom's life, the devastated sisters are reunited. And I don't know what happens from there. I don't want to know. Let's see. Then my amazing friend Patricia sent me this book, Golden Poppies by Layla Ibrahim. So this is, it says, From Slavery to Freedom, From the Painful Past to a New Hope. So 1894, Jordan Wallace and Sadie Wagner appear to have little in common. Jordan is a middle-aged black teacher, lives in segregated Chicago, 2,000 miles away. Sadie is the white wife of an ambitious German businessman, and lives in a more tolerant Oakland, California. But years ago, their families intertwined on a plantation in Virginia. There, Jordan and Sadie's mothers developed a really big bond, and therefore their kids kind of did. So we have the privileged daughter of the plantation's owner, and one wasn't enslaved, so she was a slave at the time. Jordan's mother's on her deathbed. Sadie has to leave her disapproving husband and go back to Chicago and be reunited with the two families. So it just sounds fantastic. It's one of those books, it's got a very soft cover. It's awesome. I have not heard of it. I'm super excited about it. My daughter, I have her signed up for Amazon. They do a kids book box, and so the two books that came this month is The Clockwork Crow by Catherine Fisher and Ikenga. I don't have a clue how to say that, but these are the ones that she picked out. That one looks cute. This one looks intriguing. I don't know. They're in the pile, so I thought I'd show them to you. I should probably have her take those up to her room. And then for my book club, my in-person book club that we gather here, obviously we weren't getting together in person at the moment, but we did a virtual book exchange. So we used Elfster to do kind of a Secret Santa type of a book exchange this time, and so then we all got on the same Zoom call and opened our books. And so Amber from my book club sent me Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. It says, anyone can follow the road, but few will leave it alive. Rules, bones, hearts, all of these can be broken. Dun, dun, dun. Once a year, a road appears into the forest, and at the end of it, the ghost of Lucy Gallows beckons. Lucy's game isn't for the faint of heart. If you win, you escape with your life. But if you lose, I don't know what happens. I'm going to read it and find out. So I'm excited for that one. Okay, last pile, I promise. I have The Fortunate Ones by Ellen Omansky. So this is Vienna 1939 and then Los Angeles present day, because who doesn't love dual timelines? Let's see. As the specter of war darkens Europe, Rose Zimmer's parents are desperate. Unable to get out of Austria, they manage to send their young daughter in a kinder transport to live with strangers in England. So then present day, Lizzie Goldstein returns home for her father's funeral. When Lizzie and Rose meet, they discover the same Chaim Soutine painting has been stolen from them both and has never been recovered. As the two women share their stories and the sense of loss the painting sparks in them, they begin to forge a friendship that will release both from the long-held burdens they carry. Spanning decades and unfolding in crystalline atmospheric prose, The Fortunate Ones is a haunting story of longing, devastation, and forgiveness. I don't know. Sounds interesting. I picked up Black Klansman by Ron Stallworth. This is one of the book club books for February. I think we're reading this in February. But I picked it up off of Amazon. So I'm gonna read that one. I have A Map for Wrecked Girls by Jessica Taylor. It says, Emma did something terrible to her sister, something that cannot be undone. And that's what caught my eye, and I didn't read any further. So the next group of books is all from my Book of the Month boxes. I think the last 2 months. I think I'm a little behind sharing with you. So the first one I picked up is The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I think this is her first go with writing some sort of, I don't want to say if it's thriller or psychological thriller or what it is, but I know it's not her normal genre. So we have that one. I also picked up Ready Player 2 by Ernest Cline, and I'm beyond excited about this one. I haven't been hearing great things though, which makes me nervous, but I think I'm gonna read and listen to this at the same time because Will Wheaton also narrated this one, so I'm waiting for my audiobook to come in through Libby. I picked up People Like Her by Ellery Lloyd. I believe this is thriller-ish around a suburban mom who is making money through a blog or Instagram. She's an Insta mom. And I believe somebody stalks her or something like that, so that sounded interesting. And then Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. This is a little thicker than I thought it would be. It says, shouldn't a dead husband stay dead? There's more than one way to end a marriage. I don't know. It sounded, you know, me, and I like when people die in books. It's just what I like. So that's my haul. That's a lot. Oh my gosh, guys. You should see this pile here on my chair of books that needs to be somewhere, somehow put away. I have been going through and kind of reorganizing things. The whole bottom shelves have a lot of my kids' books in, and so we've been kind of cleaning that out over time and kind of rearranging things, so hopefully we can fit some things in there. And then I try not to throw it out there, but I'm really gonna try hard not to buy as many books in 2021. Like, keep it to my book of the month books and really not get any other ones. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but it would be great. It would just be such an accomplishment if I could go an entire year and really focus on this and my library. Do you think I could do it? Do you think I could do it? I don't know. Anyways, those are my crazy goals. If you've heard of any of these books, if you think I should pick some up over other ones, comment below, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you next time. Bye.